Hello and welcome, y'all. Today I am here with a special video for Dune Awakening. I got to be a part of a small group of content creators who were able to ask some questions and get some answers from Chief Creative Officer Joe Bylos and lead producer Ole Andreas Haley about Dune Awakening, about the gameplay, about the future of the game. So I'm really super excited to have had this opportunity to be a part of this, and I'm really excited to get to share a lot of the answers that were given for a lot of the questions that were asked. So I'm going to go ahead and dive into that with y'all today quickly. And yeah, grab your snacks, get relaxed, and let's get to it. I've got 20 questions that were asked and 20 answers for you. So here we go. Question number 1. Will base blueprints from the player exchange have some kind of indicator to let you know when the build needs to be on a cliff versus on flat sand? And this is completely understandable to be a concern, because if you build something up high and you want to move it down low later on in a different spot, or if you buy a base blueprint from the player exchange and you maybe that person built it up high and you're wanting to build yours down low on the sand, or vice versa, it can be a worry that it might not fit or might not work if you're trying to do it somewhere else. So the good thing is, if you try to use the blueprints on a different type of terrain, any gaps will be automatically filled in with foundations. So you don't have to worry. The blueprint will automatically adjust to fit whatever terrain you're working with from what was said. So I'm super excited for that. So you can pretty much buy whatever blueprint you want or save whatever build you love of your own, and it'll work. Number 2, how will policies be monitored throughout the gameplay? No build zones, griefing, offensive words, etc. This is definitely a huge worry for a lot of people because, unfortunately, a lot of times with multiplayer games like this where everything's online and you're playing with a bunch of random people, there's always the worry that there's going to be some toxic or bad situations. Thankfully, this day and age, there are different systems and programs put in place that are being used to monitor and keep track of things and help to alleviate the toxicity or the bad things. Unfortunately, even the tools that we have to use are not perfect, so there is definitely still the option for players to report things that they are noticing in the game as well. So that will be a thing, which is awesome to know. It looks like they're definitely trying to keep it as safe of an environment as possible. Very thankful for that. Number 3, will there be base raiding in the deep desert? I know a lot of people who are interested in the PvP side of things are very much into base raiding, so it's understandable that that's something that would want to be known. There will be base raiding in the deep desert, but you have to figure out how to do it. It's not just going to be as simple as show up and blow things up. Clue for that is to read the first book. From what we were told, the answer will be near the end. So for those of you who haven't read the books, probably might be helpful to do so. Number 4, aftercare for the game after launch. Bug fixes and patches are things that are definitely a concern for keeping up with after a game launches, just in general. The good news is there are already plans to have post-launch patches soon after release, so they are fully prepared and ready to start having fixes come in as needed. They did state that most of the team working on Dune Awakening after the release will be focused on any kind of patches or fixes that need to be done, and then a small portion will continue focusing on the future plans for Dune Awakening, which I'm very much appreciative of, so they are going to be on it. Number 5, will stun locking in combat be fixed? I know combat is something that has been a concern with pretty much everybody with Dune Awakening, and it's something that the devs have constantly been in communications with any updates and changes and things like that. So stun lock is one that has been a concern with players, and the good news is it is definitely something that the devs are aware of and that they are looking into and are working with. So it is looking good that stun locking will be worked with. As far as any details of that, we do not have any other information at this time, but we know that they're aware of it and that they are looking into it at least. So hopefully we'll see something soon for that. Number 6, will there be ways your friends can join your server if the servers are filling up? This is obviously something that's been a concern for a lot lot of people when we have the head start, and then we also have the actual launch date. And with how quickly servers will probably fill up between the two, it's understandable that people would be concerned about getting to play with people they want to play with. You can visit other sietches without having a friend there by selecting the sietch you want to join within your world, which is kind of a cool feature, because before, you had to have a friend there and then join your friend. No longer the case. As long as it's in your world, you're good. But also, there will be news on finding room or solutions to play with friends soon. So that is definitely something the devs are aware of and have possible solutions for, which is exciting. So we'll keep an eye out for that, for any updates there. Number 7, will there be free updates? Updates including more story will be free, which is freaking awesome. You don't have to worry about having to pay to continue any storyline within Dune Awakening itself. There will be DLCs later on that will more than likely cost to get, but they won't be anything that affects the actual story of the game from what was said. So that's pretty exciting to know. Number 8, will there be a tank and turrets in the game? Tanks will definitely be in Dune Awakening, but there is no set release date for those to be available. So that's just something to keep an eye out for in the future. As far as the turrets go, the turrets were used in a trailer early on, but they were old assets for the game that Joel has actually removed. So they shouldn't even be there, and they have been removed for anything in the future. But yeah, there's no turrets in the game, and there's no real plan to have them at all. Number 9, will there be other factions to join, and can we swap factions once a new one is available? There will be a third faction to join if you choose, but the date for when that faction will be available is still to be determined. Now, once you choose a faction, you pretty much have to stick with it. You can betray your faction one time without any real consequence. After that, though, if you betray them a second time, you cannot go back. You have to pick and choose wisely, or else it could actually mess you up in the long run. I know a lot of people like to join one faction, learn the building pieces or decorative items, things like that, and then betray them and go to another faction and actually stick it out with that one. That way they have both building sets and decorative pieces and cosmetics and things like that. You can certainly do that. That's perfectly fine. They have made it to where you don't lose any of the blueprints that you purchase or the ability to craft things from one faction to another if you swap out, which is awesome. Number 10, will there be loadouts that you can swap on the fly? The answer to that is no. So basically, the devs want you to prepare for the situation or the adventure that you're going out for before you leave the safety of your base. I can understand people wanting to have loadouts that they can swap back and forth between at the snap of a finger, but I agree with the devs on this that I do feel like it kind of, to me at least, it breaks the immersion of the game, because you wouldn't be able to really do something like that in real life. Before you leave your home or before you leave wherever you are, you prepare for where you are planning to go and what you're planning to do ahead of time. You can't just, snap your finger and all of a sudden you're ready for another situation right off the bat. So I get it. Like, I fully support that decision. So there will not be any presets. They will be adding extra hotkeys though. That'll help where you can have a little bit extra on your hotbar there. Other than that, there will be no loadouts. Number 11, will there be an option for low-end laptops or for Steam Deck? The answer is yes. There will be a low-end laptop mode, and Steam Deck will be available at launch. And y'all already know the game is actually pretty good with being able to handle lower end computers or graphics cards, because when I was playing the content creator preview and then we had the beta weekend, I was playing on a 1060 graphics card and I was fine. It's gonna be okay if you don't have top of the line gear. When the game actually releases, when we get to play on the 5th of June, I do have a different computer going now, but yeah, you'll be fine. Don't worry. Number 12, what are some changes to combat that have enhanced overall? Second wind. Once out of stamina, you have a second wind chance to be able to dash out of combat and be able to regain stamina. Stamina management is key to being successful in combat in Dune Awakening. If you're not being very careful and cautious of your stamina drain and how much stamina you have, then that's where you're going to end up having a bad time. So once you get used to managing that, it's going to make a world of difference. Number 13, will there be an auto run feature? The answer, yes, there will be an auto run feature in an early patch for the game. It will not be at launch though. Number 14, will you be able to change your character's look after creation? The answer, yes, there will be an option in a later patch coming, and it will be a free DLC for you to be able to adjust your character's appearance once in the game. So get excited, it is coming. So we will have that available in Dune Awakening. Number 15, will there be an option for snapping or grid with decorations and items when you're placing them? The answer is there will be things like a grid and snapping possibly that will be added to the game in the future. There's no set date for when something like that would be available, but it is something that's being worked on. Number 16, will there be mods in Dune Awakening? Funcom doesn't own the IP for Dune like they do for Conan Exiles, so modding is kind of a tricky thing to make work when you don't own the IP itself for the game. At this time, there are no plans for mods. Number 17, will there be scrapped vehicles around that players could claim? Most have been moved or removed due to players jumping too far in progression and it actually ruining the gameplay for them. So you will not find like an ornithopter, things like that you can actually pick up and claim in game. You will have to actually craft those yourself or be given them from other players. So there will still be some, but not like it was. No, a lot of players were complaining that they didn't understand how things worked or they couldn't do things once they claimed the vehicles, and it just made the whole progression more difficult in the long run. So to go ahead and make it easier, make it better for players overall, they've gone ahead and just removed some of the bigger vehicles to claim, like the later game vehicles to claim, and moved around some of the others. Number 18, is there much to do in the end game? So the 𝓘𝓵𝓷 is the main end game mechanic, and it's kind of an umbrella for everything else within the Deep Desert and within Dune Awakening as a whole. I know a lot of players are concerned about end game and how much there will be to do, and just know that with the 𝓘𝓵𝓷, every Sunday there is basically a vote to determine resources, dungeon spawn, things like that. And then on Tuesdays you have the Coriolis Storm that happens, which kind of revamps things and it wipes any bases, things like that in the Deep Desert. So there are quite a few things to kind of keep the end game interesting and keep it flowing. So we'll keep an eye on it. We'll see what happens. I personally have not really messed a whole lot with end game mechanics like the 𝓘𝓵𝓷, so I'm not really familiar with it yet, but we will see how it goes soon. 19, can we give specific people permission over our base or storage chests? And the answer is permissions are something that's being worked on to make more user friendly. At this time, you can give permission over your base, like and your storage chests and things as a whole through your subfief, but there's no way to go through individual chests and choose who has access to one specific chest, for example. Not yet. Last but not least, number 20, are there plans for post-Arrakis content like leaving the planet? Joel said that he has 10 years worth of content coming for Dune Awakening that he has been planning. Dune is nowhere near done, and yes, we will be leaving the planet and exploring others. So that is 100% happening and super freaking amazing, and excited to have that option once the time comes. It will be a couple years before anything like that happens as far as leaving the planet, but knowing that we have such a long lifespan ready to go for Dune Awakening is freaking awesome. There you have it. There are the 20 questions and answers that I have from the meeting with Joel and Ole Andreas. I appreciate you guys for being with me through this and for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe so you don't miss any more content that is coming, because I certainly plan on having quite a bit of Dune Awakening content soon. The game is only, a week away from the head start, and then we're right there on the actual release. So we're getting closer, guys. I appreciate y'all bunches. And let me know in the comments below your feelings on these 4 questions and and the answers that we were provided. I know some of them didn't quite have a lot of detail in them, but they are things to look forward to in the future. So I'm curious what y'all are excited for in the game that's coming or what you're hoping to see. I do want to give a special shout out to the members of the Chaos crew. A special shout out to the Guardian 1970, the ultimate Chaos crew member. You guys are absolutely amazing, and I appreciate all the love and support that you give. I wouldn't be able to do any of this without you guys. I have a link in the top right to another one of my Dune Awakening videos if you'd like to check it out as well. And remember, y'all are freaking amazing.